Hello everyone and welcome back. So we've now finally gotten the reveal of the Year 8 Season 1 attacker, Brava. Now Brava, whose real name is Nayara Cardoso, is actually from Brazil. Now you may be aware, we already actually have Brazilian operators in this game, Caveira and Capitão. And you actually may be wondering if there is a link between these operators, and there actually is. Brava is actually the cousin of Capitão. We can actually learn this in her bio, which we are now going to be taking a closer look at. So this starts with a little quote, and it says, "Sometimes the only path to justice is through a bullet." Brava's childhood was impacted by the untimely death of her cousin, an innocent bystander in a heist gone wrong. And this does match up with Capitão's lore as well, because we do know that he is the youngest of 3 children, and at the age of 10, his older brother was murdered. And as we go through this as well, we are going to be cross-referencing with Capitão's lore because it does match. The criminal involvement in the event motivated Cardoso to pursue a degree in law. So this same family member's death impacted both Brava and Capitão. This led Capitão to go into law enforcement, and this led Brava to pursue a degree in law itself. Her inability to affect significant change within the system as a criminal prosecutor left her delusioned and prompted her to join the Departamento de Polícia Federal, aka the DPF. As an agent, Cardoso combated interstate and federal crime, eventually becoming a federal police commissioner. She commanded investigations, issued warrants, and following a special recommendation from the DPF, moved to Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, to apply to the COT. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, I already know I'm going to butcher it. This is a special operation military unit in Brazil. After completing the 18-week course of air, amphibious, and riverside operations training, Cardoso joined the COT's high-risk intervention unit. Brava's specialization in resolving civil aircraft hijackings brought her to the attention of Captain Yumiko Hibana Imagawa, but it's her stellar performance record that earned her a place in Viperstrike. Of course, Viperstrike being the squad led by Captain Hibana. And on the topic of Hibana, we now have a little specialist profile by Hibana talking about Brava, and it says the following: "The formal record indicates that my reasons for recruiting Brava are tied to her stellar performance record. Allow me to elaborate as to why Brava is a natural fit for the foremost CTU in the world, Viperstrike." And honestly as well, I think this is the first time any of these squads have been referred to as a counter-terrorist unit, but I guess we've just never thought about these squads as actually being new counter-terrorist units on their own. The official purpose of the mission, rescuing hostages that included her cousin, Specialist Vicente Souza, aka Capitão, was optimistic to say the least. It was well known that the criminal organization holding him never let anyone go alive, and that if Capitão was still breathing in the first place, it was because they believed that he could be broken. Despite the COT's faultless preparation, the long odds saw their tactical execution fall apart. With no other resources, Brava became the judge, jury, and executioner on that mission, and was the only reason Souza made it out with his life. If any one of the dozens of criminals holding Capitão has survived, I'm sure their nightmares would be haunted by images of Brava storming their compound. Her performance on that day is what legends are made of, and legends belong in Viperstrike. And jumping over to Capitão's lore as well, if I'm not wrong, this is referring to the part in Capitão's lore where he was actually held captive and tortured for 3 months, resulting in the loss of his eye, hence why he wears an eye patch. Jumping back over to Brava's lore, it says the following: "Brava knows the cost of pulling the trigger like few others do, yet throughout it all she remains an idealist, which makes missions like Operation Redacted exact a hard toll on her. There is an old saying in Kyudo, which is the Japanese martial art of archery, which says, shooting with technique improves the shooting, but shooting with spirit improves the person. Brava does all the personal and professional work required to transcend her personal preference and be decisive in the field. The squad will benefit from someone that shoots with spirit. It will be important to keep an eye on her relationship with Capitão. He seems to want to bond with her, but she shuts him out. When I asked her about it, she told me that personal relationships are distracting, but that hasn't stopped Brava from developing a friendship with the Jaeger over their shared enthusiasm of aircraft. I will let it lie, as long as it doesn't bleed into her operation performance." And that was Captain Hibana of the Viperstrike squad talking about Brava. Now before we get into the next paragraphs, there's also a little bit which shows her training and her relevant experience. And it says that her relevant experience is Operation Crushed Rock, the 2011 Military World Games, Operation Hashtag, and Operation Commanding Force, which is the new season. And the final part we have of Brava's bio is an evaluation by Mira of her device, the Kludge Drone. I actually do like that we learn here that Mira is still the director of R&D. I was actually wondering if she was still the director of R&D after they were separated into different counter-terrorist unit squads, so it does seem like Mira, despite being in Viperstrike, is still the director of R&D for all the squads and their gadgets. So Mira says the following: "Brava's familiarity with advanced weapon systems and other destructive technologies made her consultation invaluable to the drone's modifications. The Kludge Drone can now disrupt hostile surveillance, with the added tactical advantage of repurposing the technology for her squad. Of course, targets are limited to the electromagnetic spectrum. So far, the Kludge Drone has only been able to utilize the observation capacities of defense offensive drones, but we're close. I'm hoping with some further experimentation and specialist Twitch's expertise, we'll be able to make full use of her shock drone's offensive laser. Twitch wasn't particularly keen on me looking for ways to counter her RSD Model 1, but it will give her the opportunity to explore geofencing. The Kludge Drone is uniquely suited to Brava's adaptability, giving her the opportunity for intelligent initiatives and counter tactics. When confronted with a tactical adversary, Brava can use the Kludge Drone to access electronic resources available to her and gain an advantage in any environment. The trial with Thorn's Razorbloom shell was successful, and I'm fully confident the drone is ready for field testing. I'm curious to see the Kludge in action. And with that final note by Mira, that is the bio for the brand new attacker Brava. So guys, what do you think about the brand new Brazilian operator in Rainbow Six Siege? What do you think about the fact that she is a cousin of Capitão? Now, I actually had my theory that it was actually going to be Cav's girlfriend Camila. In the lore, Cav does have a girlfriend back in Brazil, and I was like, okay, maybe this new Brazilian operator is going to be Cav's girlfriend. But it actually does make a lot of sense that she does have some relation to Capitão, because Capitão has been missing in the lore for over a year now. We only actually heard him out again until recently when it was announced that he was on the Viperstrike squad, which is the same squad which Brava is on. So it does make a lot of sense that he does reappear in the lore when she actually is entering the game. We do learn a bit about their relationship as well, that they're not exactly against each other, and she did save his life, but she doesn't really want to reconnect to him because she just doesn't want that relationship. But it does seem like she is getting on with fellow Viperstrike member Jaeger, which is really cool. You know, we love Jaeger. I'd love to see more Jaeger lore. For an operator as iconic and popular as Jaeger, we actually don't really know a massive amount about him. Heck, we don't even know what he looks like. But it is nice to know that he has made a friend with the brand new operator over their shared love of aircraft. Of course, Jaeger is a pilot. Of course, as well, we also got to see Hibana's view on Brava and why she was actually invited to the Viperstrike squad. Of course, it is nice to see that the leaders of the squads are the ones inviting these operators into the teams now. Since we recently did lose Harry, the director of Team Rainbow, to the new villain Deimos, it does seem like there is no longer a director of Team Rainbow. If you actually did check out yesterday's video where we covered who the new 6 is, I theorized that it seems like, and what Harry said, is that there isn't going to be another 6. The leaders of these squads are the ones who are going to be calling the shots and recruiting operators for their respective squads from now on, because just like what Harry said before he was killed, he's told the operators to lead themselves, and they no longer need an acting director of the team to look after them. And that is reinforced by the fact that it was Hibana that recruited Brava into Viperstrike. None of the other squads had a say in that, and of course there's no director to have a say in that either. And it is just quite cool to see a lot of these operators are reminded that the squad leaders are Thermite, Doc, Kavera, and Hibana, growing from high-level operators into leaders of their own counter-terrorist unit, commanding some of the best soldiers in the world. So guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about the brand new operator Brava? Are you excited for the brand new season of Rainbow Six Siege? Of course, Brazil is a returning country. If you guys would like any other countries to return, what country would it be? Anyway guys, like I said, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if you did not, subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.